This is Sung, and I'm the principal and director of Sky Academy. And in this episode, what I want to do is look at multiplying and dividing fractions. Now, we looked last episode at adding and subtracting fractions. Okay. Now, with multiplying and dividing fractions, we're going to take a totally different approach. You can't do multiplying and dividing fractions the same way we did addition and subtraction of fractions. Okay, so we need to be wary of that. So let's have a look at some of the rules for multiplying fractions, because we're going to do multiplying fractions first. Okay, so with multiplying fractions, first thing we need to do is make sure that any fractions that are a mixed number need to be converted to improper fractions. So you can't have whole numbers in the multiplication. A mixed number has to be an improper fraction. Then what we do is we look to cancel or simplify any numerator with denominator. Okay, so any numerator with any denominator with any numerator. So we look to cancel there, okay, or simplify. And then whatever's remaining on the top and on the bottom, you multiply the numerators for the top number. So you multiply the tops with tops to get the top number, and the bottoms with bottoms to get the bottom number. Okay, let me do an example with you. So you got 1/7 times 2/3. Step 1, are there any mixed numerals? The answer is no. There's no mixed numerals to convert to improper fractions, so we can just go to the next step, which is to simplify. 1 and 7. All right, can we cancel or simplify 1/7? No, we can't. 2/3, can we cancel or simplify 2/3? No, we can't. The next step we do is we don't just stop there. We need to look and see if 1/3 we can cancel 1/3 here. So we go across. So we treat 1 on the top and the 3 on the bottom as if it were a separate fraction. Can we simplify there? No. 2/7, can we simplify there? No. Okay, so now we can do the next step, which is multiply the remaining tops with tops to get the top number. 1 times 2 is 2. And multiply any bottoms with bottom numbers to get the bottom number. 3 times 7, which is 21. So our answer is 2/21. The next question has a little bit more complexity to it, but not much more. All right. Again, there's no mixed numerals. No mixed numerals to convert to improper fractions, so we don't have to worry about step 1. Step 2, look to cancel or simplify any numerator with denominator, and vice versa. 4/9, can we cancel that or simplify that? The answer is no. 3/16, can we cancel or simplify? Again, the answer is no. Okay, but what we can do, 4/16, can simplify to 1/4, right? Because 4 is common to both. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 16 4 times. 3/9, that simplifies as well. 3 goes into 3 once, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. And then we need to multiply. Let me come around this side because it's probably easier for me to write. 1 times 1 is the remaining 2 top numbers. That gives you 1. 3 times 4, the remaining bottom numbers, that gives you 12. And that's how you do questions like this, okay? You simplify where you can, and then you multiply. Now, you can multiply first, and then simplify. Yes, you can do that, okay? And I've seen people do that successfully, but I think it's easier to cancel where the numbers are manageable, rather than multiply and get a really big number, and then when you have to cancel, you're trying to simplify or cancel really big numbers, okay? So I like to simplify before I multiply, okay? So let's have a look at this example. Now, 15 and 25, they can simplify, right? All right. 5 goes into both 15 and 25. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 5 goes into 25 5 times. Let's look at 18 and 12. They have a common factor of 6, right? 6 goes into 18 3 times, and 6 goes into 12 twice. Got it? So you got 3 and 2 are the remaining top numbers, which gives you 6. 3 and 5 are the remaining bottom numbers, which gives you 15. Now we can simplify 6/15. We could have simplified the 3 and the 3 here, but I wanted to leave this like this, 6/15, because sometimes at the end of your fraction, you may have forgotten to simplify it earlier. So what you need to do is just check at the end to see whether or not you can simplify 6 over 15, okay? Your final answer, okay? And in this case, you can, all right? So as a last step, just make sure that your answer is in the simplest form. So 3 goes into 3, all right? So you're just left with 2 over 5. Let's have a look at this one, because this one is a classic example where we need to take into consideration step 1. 1 and 1/7 ends up being 8 over 7. 2 and 1/3 gives you 7 on 3. You can cancel straight away the 7 with the 7. Alright? So you're left with 1 here. 8 times 1, because 8 and 3 don't cancel. 8 times 1 gives you 8. 1 times 3 gives you 3. And that, as a mixed numeral, becomes 2 and 2/3. Okay? So that's how you do multiplication of fractions. When it comes to doing division of fractions, so let's turn our attention now to division. When it comes to doing division of fractions, we basically follow the steps for multiplication, but what we need to do is invert the divisor fraction. So whatever you're dividing by, you need to invert. Invert means to flip or to turn upside down. And you might have heard it being expressed as invert and multiply. So when you invert and multiply fractions, or you might have heard it as being expressed as you multiply by the reciprocal. And the reciprocal is just the flipped fraction, the fraction that you get when you turn it upside down. So let's have a look at how you do some of these questions. Again, it's exactly the same as multiplication, except the fact that you have to flip the second fraction, the divisor fraction, okay? So let's have a look at this. 4 divided by 1/3. Now, 4 is the same as 4 over 1. Any whole number can be expressed as that whole number over 1. So just bear that in mind. 4 is 4 over 1 divided by 1 over 3. What you have to do is flip that around and multiply. So it's 3 over 1. All right? So it's 4 over 1 times 3 over 1, which again is just 12 over 1, because there's nothing that can be cancelled. The answer is 12. Okay. So because any whole number over 1 is that whole number, and any whole number is that whole number over 1. Okay? So let's have a look at this one. This one's really simple. 3/7 divided by 5 over 14, you flip it. You flip the second fraction, right? Which allows us to simplify or cancel 7 with 14. The answer would be 2 over 1. Multiply bottom with bottom, top with top, and our answer would be 6 over 5, which is 1 and 1/5. With this question here, it would be exactly the same as multiplying, except flipping the second fraction. So what we need to do is take any mixed number and convert them to an improper fraction. 1 and 5/9 becomes 14 over 9, divided by 4 and 2/3, which ends up being 14 over 3. Written another way, it would be 14 over 9 times, and remember you got to flip, so it's 3 over 14, right? The 14s will cancel with 14, so you're left with 1 and 1. 3 and 9 becomes 1 and 3. Tops with tops, bottoms with bottoms. The answer is 1/3, okay? So I went through some of that fairly quickly, but hopefully you can do some practice with this. Now, a question you might be asking is, hold on a tick, I already have a calculator, so what's the point of knowing how to do this, right? And that's a very good question. But the answer is, you need to be able to know the rules and the process of multiplying fractions, because sometimes you might have algebraic fractions or fractions involving algebra for which you may not be able to use your calculator, because your calculator deals with arithmetic but not with algebra. But I'm telling you that the same rules apply for algebraic fractions as they do to arithmetic fractions. Okay, so you need to be able to understand the rules and to apply the rules to a multiplication or a division type question, so that you are able to do it for fractions involving arithmetic and fractions involving algebra as well. Okay, so have fun familiarizing yourself with it, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you very much for watching.